probably one of the best countries in the world. Our challenge, though, is how do we help companies scale up? How do we help them grow and take advantage of opportunities globally? And the primary mechanism that we have to support innovation and economic development and growth at the regional level are our development agencies. This is an area where the government has brought some fresh thinking to bear. Previously, each of these agencies were under the purview of regional ministers. For the first time, the Prime Minister asked me to take responsibility for all the agencies within my portfolio. So that includes ACOA from Atlantic Canada, SEDQ from Quebec, WBD from Western Canada, Canada from up north. They collectively, just to give you an idea, collectively represent approximately $1 billion worth of investments that are made in our communities across Canada. So as Minister, my goal is to make it easier for them to collaborate and to share best practices. In this way, we can better leverage their considerable on-the-ground expertise. In other words, we can make the whole much stronger than the sum of the individual parts, to channel our resources to focus on innovation and really leverage these regional development agencies. This new approach has its challenges. However, I truly believe that it's a breath of fresh air in how the Government of Canada supports regional economic development and elevates the importance of collaboration and partnership, two defining characteristics of the innovation age that we live in. I strongly believe that effective collaboration is one of the best ways to drive innovation. It takes a team to push innovation from the research phase to the development phase to the point where it can be brought up to market to begin to improve people's lives. So it truly is a team effort, and that's one thing I wanted to highlight today. In Canada's 21st century economy, the global economy needs to be innovative. We need to embrace science and the world of science, technology, engineering, and math, as many of you know as STEM. My daughters and yours need to learn coding at an early age. Not only to deal with the gender disparity that we have when it comes to that area of coding, but because of the major skill shortage in the coming years. And we need to diversify our economy to enable growth and prosperity across the board. And it's going to be a key part of our growth agenda. I was speaking to members at my table and talking about when I was in Alberta and had the opportunity to speak with the Deputy Minister there and the challenges that are being faced in Alberta, for example. The 50% of their budget is directly and indirectly connected with the oil and gas sector. And the fact that they have royalties now as part of their operating budget and the challenges associated with that. So we truly need to diversify, not only in Alberta, but other parts of the country as well. And I saw that really work well firsthand in British Columbia, where they truly have a diverse economy and they're able to leverage that and succeed and grow. I had the great opportunity also to brag about Canada most recently in Washington last week at the state dinner. That was the highlight of my career so far. I had the opportunity to speak to the president about innovation, of course, basketball, and turbans. It was a pretty interesting and it was funny because he was talking to me about the smalling garb that he wore and that he was attacking his first election. I said, actually, in Mississauga, wearing a turban is not a bad thing. But when I was there in Washington, I talked about the fact that we have one of the best educated populations in the world, and that's a fact, and we should be proud of that. We have one of the highest university investments in R&D in the world. We represent 0.5 of the world's population, roughly, and we punch way above our weight by producing more than 4% of our publications. And so that's a point of pride, and we should be bragging about that. And we have one of the world's best investment climates. So let's brag. Let's be proud of Canada. And that is why I agreed to host the America's Competitive Exchange on Innovation in the fall. So ACE is a very important initiative because it will showcase Canadian innovation to influential international audience. Let's bring the world to Canada. We must also acknowledge that we are a respectful society, and this government is committed to a nation-to-nation relationship with Aboriginal people. At the Globe Conference, which I attended a week ago, I announced a $5.4 million Indigenous Clean Tech Fund. Its aim, again, fundamentally is to build capacity, to build trust, to bring in the Aboriginal leadership about innovation going forward. We're also a welcoming society, and we understand and respect the value that immigration brings both to our economy and to our society. And the Prime Minister has been talking and bragging about our diversity. He did so at the World Economic Forum. I saw it firsthand at the Globe Conference and in the United States most recently. Fundamentally, ladies and gentlemen, it's about people, and we need to invest in people. I just want to say today that you have a partner in the Government of Canada, the whole of government. Just to illustrate that point, the innovation agenda that we're proposing and that we're working on and that we will unveil will not be simply my department or a department. It will include the whole of government. Procurement is an example. As I said, we invest a lot of money in starting up companies. But how many of those companies have an opportunity, procurement opportunity with the federal government? Very few. So we need to focus our procurement policy to target Canadian companies, to allow them to validate their work, to validate the innovation, so they can not only succeed here in Canada, but as I mentioned before, they can succeed globally. Immigration. Every jurisdiction I've been to, every business I've talked to, particularly in Atlantic Canada, the first priority by far, compared to any other issue, immigration. They want people. They need people with technical skills. They need people that they can sell products to. They're looking for people to run their company, to help them scale up. They're looking for C-suite individuals. So we need to make sure we have robust immigration policies that help with their innovation agenda. I briefly mentioned healthcare, for example. We're dealing with an aging population. If we keep on spending money on the current entrenched interests, we'll get the current outcomes that we're seeing. So how do we drive change? How do we deal with an aging population? We need to invest in healthcare innovation. And that is why Jen Philpott has made this part of her mandate. And of course, I have the pleasure and privilege of working with Christia Freeland, who is the Chief Marketing Officer for Canada, our Minister of International Trade. And again, she is one of the best salespeople I've seen. She's out there bragging about innovation, about Canada. So again, this is going to be a whole government approach when it comes to innovation, to let you know. And we are committed to working with our provinces and territories. And together we can build on these strengths. The innovation agenda I want to lead involves all of us, as I mentioned. Not only government, but business and academia, non-for-profit, and as I highlighted, Aboriginal leadership. We all have a role to play. Our task is urgent, and the rules of the global economy are changing and evolving every day. And the nature of international trade has fundamentally changed as well. And thanks to international trade agreements, global supply chains, and e-commerce, global companies can now be local competitors. As the world has seen time and time again, innovation waits for no one. If you're not at the leading edge, you'll be left behind. And I know that together we can lead. As my father taught me to work hard, I want to teach my daughters to work smart. Because it's not about working harder for less, it's about working smarter to earn more. Thank you very much.